Today's Saturday, June 1st, and we are taking the two mowers. We got 7210 and Wes is in the 7410, and we are taking them to the last hay field we got to do, 60-acre field. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow morning we can start cutting and belling there. So we just have a couple miles down a back road, and then we can get on a farm market road, and then a couple miles down in, and we'll be there. So once we get there, so we'll see you when we get there, and you can kind of look at the grass, how it looks. It's some really good coastal and some dead ryegrass, but hang on, I'm gonna speed back up, dip in the road there. And then we get back to the barn, and we gotta do some stuff at the barn. So we'll see you when we get to the hayfield. See, there's some dead ryegrass, but it's a lot of coastal. Looks pretty good. So hopefully we can get started on this tomorrow, and then we're gonna head back to the barn. We got some other stuff to do there, so we'll see you at the barn. That's what you got to do when you're in Texas and it's 92 degrees with like 80% humidity. What did Millennial Farmer call it? The Texas Sky Ball. It's actually raining over there. Sun shining on this side. It's very sticky, very humid. See what my truck says. Truck actually says 98, but it's been sitting here for a little while. We gotta run up here and help Wes real quick. He's changing a fuel filter on the Freightliner. Hauling hay when tornadoes were coming, we were having a little bit of trouble with it getting it started and letting it run. So we're gonna change the fuel filter. He doesn't have any fuel in his truck, and I have some fuel in my truck, so I'm gonna put some in the filter, and then we're gonna go over and put a shade cloth on the back of the dairy barn. We've already done all the everyday stuff, so you know, the bells, the feeding, mixing up feed. I still gotta run feed off for tonight, but we're gonna put that shade cloth up real quick. So once we get done with putting fuel in this truck, and then we'll be putting that shade on.
This one's been rolling around the back of there for probably several years. And, I found the O-rings for it. Got it over here. They're in the package. Weird. Trace into the dust. What's that up to the north there? I think that wheel might have got stuff right here.
It's kind of, it's like hitting this thing. What?
Did you get a flat screwdriver?
Huh?
Never mind. Never mind. Crazy man, let's do this. The switch is hung up.
Huh. Or not the switch, but yeah, it's the first switch here. Contactors hung up.
This we just need to get a new pressure switch here. The other contactors were they were hanging off, and I took them off, so they were catching that way. Now it's just got a little burn spot on them, probably. They're not kicking off, or not kicking back on. They're stuck when they won't kick back on. It's gotta be a snake somewhere staring me down. I don't see one. See, right now that other whale probably jumped up to about 50 or 60.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there running all the time, just like it was. It's working now, but see the ones that were here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just knocked them off because they were broken, hanging down. I thought that was all. See, that's right there. They just get stuck.
Yeah.
I think they'd be doing that.
Yeah. So you just moved the wires to the other side?
No. It's got double contact there. This side was like broken. They were hanging down.
Yeah.
And so it couldn't close and make contact and turn itself on. So I just knocked them out of the way. They just fall right off. They just got a little spring hole in them and a clip.
Yeah, I got you now.
Knocked them out of the way so it could work freely. I thought that's all it was, but now
the other side's getting stuck.
Yeah, let's just get a new one.
Okay.
So what are we doing out here?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe don't sprig this year. I mean, 15 and 49 are about the same, but I mean, these are all weeds, but yeah, if it was still early, you could go okay, but it could stop raining any time, and then you'd be screwed. Yeah. Well, see, like, there's Tifton all right over there. There's Tifton over there. There's Tifton right here. Number 10's like solid. I don't know. That's kind of weird, huh? Well, I mean, this is a whole. Yeah, just need to spray for weeds. And no sprig this year. No, we need to roll it though. Get all these clumps down from the plow. I don't know if number 10's got ruts in it from the vacuum tank. I don't know if we can roll it out, but just fix that up, spray for weeds, and don't sprig. So I went over to get diesel, or give him diesel for that fuel filter. Got the truck started up, everything looks good. He said the old filter was just full of crap. And then he went to wash his hands over by the well, the other well there. You know, I'm backing up. So we have 3 wells all together. 2 of them are running and this one's not. This one keeps getting stuck. So we realized that the other day just because it seemed like we didn't have as much pressure as we normally do. And then when he went and washed his hands, he realized that if the pressure is not changing on the other one at the barn, then that means this one's off. It would take a good hour and a half to put that shade up, and then so this rain that's coming in, obviously, it's getting a little bit bigger. And then on the radar, it's kind of between us and Dallas, so moving this direction a little bit. So we're going to hold off on that shade cloth. If we had a couple extra guys here and it wasn't just going to be me and Wes, we could have probably knocked it out. But after I went over to get the diesel for him and then the well, having to go out and check the well and all that, we lost some time. And if there was 3 or 4 guys standing here ready to go, we could probably knock it out pretty quick. But I just don't have the guys to do it. So we're just going to have to hold off. And maybe try again tomorrow. So we still got to slice bells and put out feed and just a couple other little things. So we'll get that done now and then just see what happens the rest of the day. It's 6:50 right now. So anyway, I'm gonna go move this tractor and put that shade up. That's how you get stuff done by yourself. The corn price being in the $200 to $220 a ton range, we need to get molasses and get it in here quick. It's been a little while since we fed molasses, but the price on it's pretty good right now, and it can almost go 1-for-1 replacing corn. So you can't go crazy and just completely replace corn with molasses, but you can go like 1-for-1. So say you're feeding like 15 pounds of corn, you can replace 3, 4, maybe even 5 pounds of corn with 3 or 4 or 5 pounds of molasses. So at almost $50 cheaper a ton, it makes sense. The thing is this old molasses tank, it's pretty nasty inside. And the molasses pump, the last time I used it, it burned up. So we need to get a new molasses pump and then also get this tank cleaned out. So climbed up here now, and pull the manhole cover off and see what it looks like inside and see what we got to do to get it clean. Oh man. Oh yeah, it's pretty nasty. You can feel the heat coming out of it. So I haven't figured out a way yet, but we need to come up with some clever idea how to get this cleaned out. That's all I basically wanted to do, was just see what it was like, so I come up with some kind of idea. Don't do this at home. Now that we're not going to do that shade cloth, it's not going to rain, or it's going to go like around us. So I guess that might actually work out better. So I'm hoping we can get that done in the morning after, well, I don't know. We'll just see how it goes in the morning. Maybe we can get it knocked out and get it up before afternoon milking. So that'll probably end up being on the next video. So stay tuned for that. I think also the plan is to try to get to the hayfield tomorrow at some point and at least get some of that hayfield going. The hay that we missed out on from the tornadoes, when those came through, the rain that we got that shut us down, it was probably, I don't know, maybe a third of the field. So I was going to say 15 acres, but it might not be quite that much. So somewhere between 10-15 acres is left to do down there. So yesterday Wes went and checked that field, and he said that you could probably bale it, but you wouldn't be able to get the trucks in there to haul it out to bring it to the wrapper. And then today we went and looked at it, and the hay is completely dried out. You could probably bale it today to be dry, but it's still got some puddles of water and things like that. The field that we went and took the mowers to, that is a big, it's a great big sandy hill, so it's all dried. All in the front part, and then the back part's got some low areas, but I think we can work around them. So we could probably go ahead, depending on if this rain comes in. If this rain comes in, then we won't be able to get to it. But if it doesn't, then we can get started on that tomorrow. Should be no problem. You just gotta be smart where you're driving the truck. Tractor should be fine down there. Let's see. Oh, a little update on the tornadoes. So they ended up confirming 11 tornadoes throughout northeast Texas. That what day was that? 29th, today's the 1st, so Saturday, Thursday, Wednesday. I guess it was Wednesday. So they ended up saying that Canton, the town that I live in, had 5 tornadoes. And I'm not 100% certain that it was 5 different tornadoes. Because when I pulled up on that video at the very beginning of the, I was standing there and then I got the phone call that the power was out. Or I was sitting in the tractor, that's what it was. I mean, there was an obvious one. But then it kind of disappeared. And then we drove back out into the hayfield because I had actually went out on the county road so I could get away from the tree line so I could see what was going on. And then so when we went back into the hayfield and kind of went across the hayfield to get back away from the trees, then all of a sudden it reappeared again. So I don't know if it just was the same tornado that, you know, touched down and then lifted back up and then touched down again. There's that first one that we saw was an EF1, and then the second one that we saw was an EF2, and just on the other side of town, it leveled some houses, took them off the foundation, and it kind of went through town a little bit and got some damage there, but it seemed like it lifted up too through town. But anyway, I guess there was several EF1s, several EF0s, and then the 2 biggest ones were EF2s of 130 mile an hour winds. So I know they said that a couple of the EF1s that went through town were 75 to 80 mile an hour winds, and yeah. So just an update on that if you guys were curious. Then we did get the 3rd alert that there was going to be another tornado. It was all like an hour apart. From the time we saw the first one, I had actually, left the hayfield, went to town, or drove through town to see where the damage was, and then got back, and then it was about an hour later the other one, and then an hour after that, I didn't see where. Didn't see any other tornadoes, but I mean, it was like couldn't see 5 feet in front of you the amount of water that was coming down. That was a good 3 inches within an hour. It just flooded everything. At the end of the video, that I was driving home. That was actually after it slowed down some, and just everything was flooded. So that's kind of keeping us out of the hayfield. I mean, we looked pretty good at the beginning of it because, obviously the tornadoes weren't directly over us and we hadn't gotten that much rain out of it. But compared to a few other places around, and then the bottom fell out. So that's where we've been so far. Is just doing things around the dairy, pulling the bulls out of the heifers. So no more. Breeding season's over. Bulls are all pinned up by themselves now. Moved 60 heifers. 60 of the furthest bred heifers are now with the dry cows, and which there's only 24 dry cows right now, but about to start drying cows off left and right, and vet came and we bangs vaccinated a bunch of 6, 7, 8-month-old heifers. Got those done, and so we've been busy just doing little things here and there. Can't think of anything else big that's happened. Just a lot of little dairy work stuff, and getting ready to get back in the hayfield again. So I'll show you something else we worked on today. I'll show you over here what happened. Don't want to mention any names or anything. You know, I don't want to embarrass them or make them feel bad, but in Jason's defense, the drawbar was sucked all the way in on this tractor. He was putting out grain with this tractor, but we took it off and put it on the fly sprayer, and then that 2155 was on the bottle trailer, but we don't have any more bottle calves, haven't for like 2 weeks now. So we put that tractor on the grain trailer, and so the drawbar was sucked all the way in, and he just turned a little too sharp in the weaning pins, caught the angle iron here with the tire and bent it up. So me and Wes with a couple sledgehammers, still kind of like a little bit mangled up, but not as bad as it was. Yeah, so, and then we we pulled out the drawbar on the tractor, so it'd give him a little more room to turn. So that was just a little something stupid, but yeah. Now that we're milking 3 times, we're also feeding 3 times, which isn't really, it's not any more work. It's actually 1 load less that I have to mix. Instead of feeding 4 3/4 loads a day, twice a day. No, that didn't make no sense. Instead of 2 loads for the morning feeding and 2 loads for the night feeding, just for the milk cows, I'm able to feed just 3 loads, 3 full loads. So it's kind of weird how that works out, but I don't know. Anyway, all it is that you kind of have to mix up feed and put out feed at different times of the day, instead of getting most or all of it done in the morning and then just having it sit and wait for the last group or 2 groups at night. So that's the only thing that's different. But I do get to mix up 1 less load. So that's group 1s. We'll turn around and feed group 2s and then park it with group 3s in it. And then Jeremy works the feed lane tonight, so he'll run it off after group 1 leaves. So maybe tomorrow we'll be able to actually accomplish something and get something completely done from start to finish. That's just how it works out sometimes. Is, you know, you're here, you're there, then you're over there, and you can't ever just stay put on one thing and get it done. Sometimes you got 10 things going at once. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.